my name is Emily, and I'm here today with the nationally recognized authority in trust clause litigation, Dan Dalton. So, Dan, what can a local church do if they follow the process set forth by the annual conference, but the annual conference does not release the church?
Good question, Emily. We're running into that problem in Arkansas, and we're probably going to run into that problem again in the future. Just by way of background, 2553 does not require an annual conference vote, believe it or not. If you look at the language of 2553, it only requires a process that has the church voting 2/3 vote at a church conference called by the district superintendent, and that's it. It doesn't require the annual conference to approve under 2553. I think where the annual conferences make that assumption that they have the authority to do so is under 2553 paragraph 4A. It provides that the annual conference may develop additional standard terms that are not inconsistent with the standard form of this paragraph. So they added that into it. But be that as it may, even though it's not a requirement under the Book of Discipline, a lot of conferences require it. So what do? You get past your local vote, and now you're waiting on the annual conference vote. Well, you have to treat it just like you treated the local conference vote. You have to treat it like a political campaign. The annual conference is made up of half clergy, half laity. Each church has one laity and one clergy at a minimum for those churches. So you need to find out who the annual conference delegates are. You need to reach out to those delegates and explain your position as to why your local church is leaving. And you're going to know there are going to be some people who are friendly to you and some that are not. You're probably going to know, because of your relationships within the annual conference, who's going to be friendly and who's not. So the ones who's not, you don't need to reach out to. They're not going to help you. But the ones who are friendly to you and the ones that are on the edge, the institutionalists, you just kind of have to lay out your story. You have to make sure that the ones that are favorable to you show up and vote to allow you to leave. The institutionalists is you have to persuade them that this is the reason why we're leaving. We've done everything that's required under the discipline to leave. And as a result of that, we should be able to be voted out. So you have to find out who those delegates are. You have to contact them and tell them your story. You have to affirm them affirm their vote to let you leave. You have to talk to them at the annual conference before the vote to make sure that they're still on board, and keep telling them their story. Again, if you think like every annual conference has about 800 churches or so, maybe, if you have to get 50%, that's 400. Maybe out of the 800 that you might have like 600 that might be institutionalist, 200 or the balance being 200 being very not, against you, kind of to leave. So just work within those confines of those people that are making those decisions. And people generally are pretty open-minded. And if they hear your story, they'll be with you. If they hear one side of the story who kind of makes up things, like as what happened in Arkansas, then they're going to make their decision based on what they've heard as opposed to what the facts are. So you just have to put your story out there and treat it like a political campaign.
What options do local churches have when faced with this issue?
So if they're going to the annual conference, the option is to go ahead and work within the annual conference and to get their votes, to get that vote approved. If they choose not to do that, they're kind of leaving this up to fate to make that decision. And again, you don't really want that to happen. If your annual conference votes you down, you still have options to leave. In Arkansas, their option is to go back to the annual conference again. But again, if you know that you didn't have the votes before, you're not going to get them in the future. So you have legal routes to go through under state law. And you just need to explore those routes with competent lawyers who know this area of the law that can help guide you through this to get you through this whole process. So, understand it's not the end of the road if an annual conference declines your ability to leave after their vote.
Well, thank you for your insight, Dan. If your church is interested in hiring our firm to help you through the disaffiliation process, please reach out to our office at 313-859-6000 or email us today. Thank you.